Hello everyone. I just want to do another scrolling through the feed video. Even though I haven't done one in quite a while, January's just been a pretty interesting topic of things to talk about. So I've been kind of collecting a small list just as I've been kind of sitting, hanging out, and enjoying the small vacation. So without further ado, let's get right into the news. The first story I have is the TikTok giant conspiracy, and it's just a video of a guy filming the mountain side as he's like driving passenger seat alongside the road, and he claims to his friend he sees a giant, and yeah, he uploads this thinking it's gonna be a giant. When people will like geo like maps it on Google to see where it is, it's just like a little radio tower, or like a little electric system that like is used for like whatever power system to just like help maintain the grid in the area. So it's been a good meme, and here's like a little clip summary if you're interested.
Oh, it's a giant
person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
I knew they were here. I've known all along the giants existed. They called me a fool. Also, it's dangerous to scroll in the comments, but I'm pretty sure, I'm not even gonna bother with the Council of Cock being down there as a possibility. Someone went on like Google Earth. They went over that mountain. It turns out it's just a tower. It's just legitimately just a tower. But that didn't dissuade the believers. So, what they're saying is they must have built the tower after this video came out in order to hide the truth that there was a giant there. I shit you not. That was their explanation for it being a tower over there. They said that they made it. They put that tower in place in order to obfuscate. But this is what's on the other side. I think the top comment on this is still the government put that there in order to hide the truth. I'm gambling, but I think I'm right with this. Okay, not the one. You another person that's trying to keep information no one cares about hidden. Everyone knows it was a giant, everyone still doesn't care. We care about the man being murdered for discovering it though. We don't trust you. Isn't that crazy? They think the government killed this guy because he caught a video of a giant. That is the human brain in 2023.
So as people continue to lose brain cells on TikTok and their data to the Chinese government, I sit here playing Tekken, and I didn't even catch the fact that they think the CIA killed him for revealing the fact that there was a giant. Like, if anything, the giants would have been exposed a long time ago. 'Cause it's a fucking giant. Giants are usually bigger than the mountain. At least they depicted the. I imagine like you see a man that's like 10 to 15 feet tall. Yeah, that's a pretty big guy, but I don't think that's a giant. I think he's just like a pretty lanky guy who happens to like be at the height of genetics, or like the height genetic anyway. Instead of the next news story, I might as well just like connect these two, because like the first one's really small, and the other one is just kind of like U.S. media just being like, or making bad decisions, I guess, overall. So without further ado, I'll just like kind of like wrap up the first one, or like the short story first, and that would be the Dungeons and Dragons little MDMA or whatever legal action that they put that like says like after you're like a certain amount of money, you have to like pay Wizards of the Coast X amount of value after what you make after taxes, I believe. So that was pretty daunting to see, especially because you know, it just kind of allows them to go out to whatever small creators are around and just kind of like dip their hand in and take whatever if they meet the legal guidelines, so they can legally do it, and that they're also kind of like copywriting Dungeons and Dragons. Are like trying to like get that system, or I'm not sure if you can even copy like a D20 system, or like the way people play a certain way, or also just having like different rules. So it's just like what constitutes like fair or not, besides just like the legal amount that like someone makes like through some sort of platform or rule system. So overall it just seems a little sketch, but thankfully it was pretty much like open and closed like within like 2 to 3 days, because there were other companies that were like adjacent, like Pathfinder and other like people that own like different other tabletops and or board game companies that were on top of it, and pretty much we're working on another like DMCA or whatever, a patent for like people to freely do whatever and kind of like just hang out and chill and continue to make content for and expand on. So with one company, I want to say fumble out of the way, we move on to the other, I guess, American media companies that I want to talk about, such as being DC Comics, Marvel, and the comic book industry, as well as maybe the new, just like HBO, just 'cause like they released the new Velma show, and everyone just can't get enough of the new Velma show, right?
Yeah, yikes, Jesus. I don't think anyone was expecting it to be good, but I also don't know if anyone was expecting it to be this awful either. It really feels like they went to ChatGPT and asked it to generate jokes for it.
Velma is the most insufferable fucking character ever. She is such a bitch. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. She is so insufferable. I have never hated Velma more than in my entire life than watching this first episode. It was so bad. She was so shit.
You can't force people to think the same way as you, just because you think your way of thinking is more morally just than theirs. This is something most of my liberal friends just aren't able to comprehend. Your new motto should be freedom of speech until until you disagree with me. LOL Cope, just a terrible show. As a person of color, I can honestly say the show sucks. If it wasn't related to Scooby and had a different name, no one would be talking about the show.
That's actually an astute observation, and it probably would have been smarter to launch it as its own thing. Then people would be far less just bothered by its existence. But that would take some level of accountability, creativity, and coming up with something you knew would actually be able to fly on its own two legs, which is not something that any of these people today can do.
No, no it isn't. Everyone hates it. But with that little clip aside, I think it's pretty easy to tell, like, with like what I mean by like misaligned or like just like bad social media for like content. And it's just like the setup for Velma is just like, it didn't appeal to anyone. It literally made everyone mad. Didn't provide anything useful. It literally just like tarnished an IP that literally could not even support it on its own two legs. So in the end, we get some sort of bastardized version of whatever we were probably supposed to get. So even though we probably could have got like a new good Scooby-Doo show, we just did not, and it was actually dog shit, written terribly by people that that are just too much for anything. It almost kind of makes you feel bad too, because a lot of the artists like put in effort and like drew whatever they needed to, or CGI'd whatever out for this show, but it's really just like, it's really gonna be nothing. It's really just getting dog shit on. And even though like some people may say the art's good, but it still doesn't. I just don't think that like does as much when the show is as terrible as it is, you know. So you still have your name associated with such a bad title, but you know, considering it's a bad title, you might be, you know, thankful enough that it's so bad everyone forgets it, or it's just the opposite, that it's so bad everyone remembers it. And so with the shelving of a new bad show, and we move on to the next story. You probably are tired of hearing about this, but it's the deepfake AI porn situation with Atriarch. Just because like everyone's pretty much been talking about it, and it's kind of interesting at first because like, you know, it's a fake, it's fake porn, but it's like also just like it's kind of like identifying that certain person, you know, just like through additional steps, and it could affect their job through like some like squeaky clean companies. Like, oh, is this your porn? And it's like, oh, you kind of have to explain that. It's like, oh no, that's a deep fake, considering it's like not leaked to like any of their like actual like main accounts and all that. And so like something they have to like go very obscurely for, or like you notice it like whether it's AI generated by the hands or whatever other like feature detail is like prevalent with whatever program is at the time. Because I'm sure, because right now like it's obviously like feet, hands, and obviously their face, because these streamers that are listed or like that have been like obviously deep faked don't like associate with like the XXX or R18 content type. So it's pretty inherently fucked up, especially when you put it behind a paywall for others to enjoy. It's not just your personal use or just something that you made just because you're like a sexual degenerate in your own free time and you wanted to make it for yourself. You put it behind a paywall for other people to get to. And when it, you know, it came out in the open and there's enough pressure, the person that actually made it would put out an apology for making such a thing and even distributing it among the thing as a very big lapse of judgment. But personally, no, I don't think it, or I don't see it as that, honestly. Use their likeness just to get that, I'll say, untapped market for the people that wanted to see them in exposed or revealing situations. And when the situation or the you know, profit of the endeavor was catching fire and getting more attention, you just had to quell the flames and respond and apologize and take everything down. Because in the end, it's kind of illegal using their likeness and or profiting off, you know, someone else's stuff like that, or their branded or visual likeness, I want to say. And if it already isn't, then, you know, it opens the gates and, or, you know, opens up a few more laws to be passed and, or like kind of talked through the actual legal fairness of, you know, getting your money's worth of your image and or whether someone can like profit off it. And so with the site down, Atriarch's career pretty much ruined because no one's gonna want to collab with him after this kind of like unveiling or kind of like reveal, along with the apology that he kind of posted on his channel with him crying next to his wife about the about the deepfake and all that shit, saying he's not usually about that shit. Well, obviously enough about that shit to, like, you know, go through a paywall, pay for like the deepfakes, and, you know, ruin your career or your social career over it anyway. So that's neat. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's about it. This is the conclusion or sidebar, as I would like to say, and just a little honorable mention story and just other shit that I've been doing or watching, with a little like message as well. So the side story being the YouTuber that killed his girlfriend, which was pretty neat. That just came out because I wanted to do a little section on it, but like it's the tail end of the first week of February, and it's been a while since I already did some content, and this video's already been like taking me a little bit just because it's already a little delayed because it's like past topics and all that. Next I would recommend is anime, I guess. So Tomo-chan is a girl. The really cool, the ice guy and his really cool colleague which I think it's called. And then Blue Lock's pretty good. It's still going strong on Blue Lock. And then the last message I wanted to give is I plan on doing a little bit more gaming stuff. I just finished achievement hunting for a certain game, so I'll be looking forward to like doing gaming shit rather than like trying to record shit for the channel, because I am you know, out of break, and you know, I guess like it will get a little busy because like I do still have work, and it does get a little busy around March or so, so we'll see. But in the meantime, I will be gaming, as said before, just working and trying to get content out. So I shall talk to you or see you all in the next video. Hope you like, subscribe, comment, because it always helps, because it really does mean a lot, especially the small channel keeps it going and just like helps us push through the algorithm, and just like makes our staple on the channel. It keeps us like going, you know. So with that said, I shall finally leave y'all. Bye.
I don't talk with 3 blades on my side. They come test me 101 and ain't no doubt I survive. A nigga can fly, they tryna multiply and they strive. I ain't worried cause my sword is all I need to devise. Look in my eye, your doom is pending once I ascend. My sword is a lens, I swing it in the world I will cleanse. Distant rallies, but those bonds are something I won't defend. They move alone, I got a couple but ain't calling them friends.
Dungeons and Dragons, a game known for taking the mythology from all around the world, whether it's, you know, fucking Chernobog, Zeus, dragons, dwarves, goblins. Well, they're known for putting all that together. And they've also decided that now it's theirs. And so they're thinking about shutting down other people that are making content about Dungeons and Dragons. Here we go. The fuck? Yeah, that's basically it. Hasbro ruined Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. Yes, so far. They probably will do more.